you today is how to harvest your broccoli and your cauliflower. Now behind me and over here are my broccoli and cauliflower, and they're growing really well. I have harvested a few, but I thought I would now show you how I harvest mine. It's very easy. All you need is either a very sharp pair of secateurs, or instead of using secateurs, what I use is a sharp vegetable knife. So let me show you first of all how my broccoli and cauliflower are getting on, and then how I harvest them. Now if you look up here, I've got three rows of broccoli, or Calabrese as we normally call it. They've all been growing really well, but if we just focus on this one, just here, this is the one that I'm going to show you how to harvest. Now you can see it's got a lovely, if I move the leaves back, it's got a lovely big head to it. There is a little fly on there, but we won't worry about that. It's got a lovely big head to it. Eventually these will start, when they start to go to seed, they'll sort of start to go up slightly and they'll start to sort of separate. But if they do, you can still harvest it and still eat it. Now let me just get my knife, which I've got here, and I will show you how I'm going to harvest it. Now it's very easy. You just need a lovely sharp knife, and you don't pull the entire plant up, because once you've taken the top section, you should then start to get little bits coming out from the side. This is just on your broccoli. So all you need to do is you need to just move it back slightly and find out where the little bits come down, and then just using your knife, just cut the main head off, just like that. Okay, now you may well bring some green leaves with it. If you do, it's absolutely fine. And then what you'll be left with is you'll just be left with the main stem and lots of leaves coming out. Now keep an eye on these, because as the summer and the autumn go along, you should get some little ones coming out from the join, and then you can harvest those as well. So that's how I harvest my broccoli. Let's now move on to the cauliflowers. Now here's one of my cauliflowers. I'm really pleased with them. They've done so well. Some of them have actually started to sort of lose this lovely shape, and they've started to sort of come up a little bit, but that doesn't matter, you can still eat them. But I'm really pleased with them. I've got about about 4 rows of cauliflowers, 2 different varieties. Can't remember what the varieties are, I do apologise, but I think Braemar is one, and then there's like a Scottish one, I can't remember. But there's the cauliflower, and it's nice and firm, and that is now ready to harvest. Now unlike the broccoli, once you've taken the main head off, especially these varieties, there are some that are cut and come again, and you do keep getting little ones which come out. So do check. If they're cut and come again, then you don't remove the entire plant, because you will get some more. But if they're just one head, then all you need to do is just cut off just below. The easiest thing to do is to cut off just below all of the leaves. So get your knife or your secateurs and go through. In fact, it's actually very tough, because the main stem is really quite hard. So I think actually maybe I'll just cut this one off here. If in doubt, you can always pull it up, but I've started. There we go. Oh, there we are. So I've cut that one off, and all I'm going to do now is I will just take the leaves off from the outside. So here is my cauliflower here, and there is my broccoli or Calabrese head. All I'm going to do with this cauliflower now is I'm just going to take the leaves off. You can then put these in the compost heap, Or what I will actually do is I'll tie these together and I'll give them to the chickens as a little treat, because they do like their little green leaves as an afternoon treat. So that will be for the chickens. Now, just a little warning, when you cook these, you will need to check very, very carefully for caterpillars. Somebody said, what's worse than finding one caterpillar in your broccoli or cauliflower? The worst thing is to find half, because it makes you wonder where on earth the other half is. So you need to make sure, once you've cut it up into its little florets, you need to make sure that you check very, very carefully. They will hide right down and into the little little trunks of the florets. What I do with these is, before I cook them, I will soak them in a little bit of salted water, just cold salted water, small amount of salt, just in the washing up bowl. And that way, soak them for about an hour. And that way, anything that shouldn't be living in there should have come out and should then be floating on top of the water. So that's those. And then the broccoli, again, make sure that you really check in between. But this tastes so, so nice. You can either steam it or boil it, or roasting it is really nice. A little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil. And again, make sure that you check in between very, very well. It doesn't bother me if I come across a little caterpillar. By the time you've cooked it, it's dead anyway, so you can pick it out. But some people just find it a little bit gross. So just check it and make sure. But yes, if you're roasting it, little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, roast it on high temperature for about 25-30 odd minutes. And then it will be really, really nice. It goes slightly crispy on the outside, which is really good. So that is the cauliflower and the broccoli. And here on the right hand side, I have got some Brussels sprouts, and they're not ready yet. They won't be ready until sort of December-ish time. And then over there, I've got my caillots, or my flower sprouts, and they're not ready yet, but they are growing really, really well. But when I start to harvest those, then I will let you know. Well, I hope you're growing broccoli and cauliflower this year, and I hope that yours are doing really, really well as well. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.